yes, hello, it is me once again, and haven't been on YouTube for a few weeks, and there's a reason for that. It's because my laptop shut itself, the old laptop that I had, so I had to get a new one. But this is not what we're really going to be talking about in this video. It's sort of this internet ban that the UK's put on, and it's coming to Australia. Where I live in Australia, it's coming to Australia. I've seen what's happened in the UK, and I'm seeing what's happening in Australia. Now, a couple of days ago, the UK put this internet ban. It wasn't a ban, it was sort of like a blocking from restrictive adult sites, such as Pornhub and all that kind of crap, you know. Now, just disclosure, when I started this YouTube channel, I was, 11? Yeah, I was actually. And these kids now in Australia won't ever get to experience a thing like that. Well, they most likely will. I don't think this ban's going to work. And it's very simply, I'll get into those reasons in a bit. But yeah, I'm not a professional in this, so take what you will with what I'll say. When I was a child, all I wanted to do from a long day at boring school was kick back and watch YouTube videos. I think that's what we all did. People around my age, if you're 20, 25, and also when I started this YouTube channel, all I really wanted to do, ever since I sort of rebooted this YouTube channel about a year or two ago, whenever it was, all I really wanted to do was have some fun on it, blow shit up in a microwave, do some tool reviews here and there, because my passion was DIY. But when free speech, because this is what it is, free speech is being attacked right now in the UK. And it is coming to Australia. Now, I wanted to look at a few videos today, starting in Britain real quickly, and then we'll move into Australia because we are expecting to be the exact same as Britain by the end of the year. I think this bullshit was meant to be rolled out December 27th or something. We'll get onto that very shortly, I assure you that. Now, this first video I want to look at, I'm not going to play this video or anything like that. I just want to really go on and look at the like to dislike ratio on that. I haven't seen something like that ever since YouTube Rewind. Remember that, when YouTube used to do this horrible rewind shit every couple of years or every year and it stopped? That's the main reason they got rid of dislikes. Yeah, the other day when I first saw this video, it was on 75 likes and it had 1,041 dislikes. I remember that. Then I checked it about an hour later. It was on 76 likes and 1,071 dislikes. Now looking at it, I don't know why this is all fucked up here, but it's on 91 likes and 1,600 dislikes. Like, you can tell that the British people were not happy with this, and rightfully so. You shouldn't have to like what your government is trying to surveil you on. It's all surveilling, it's all surveillance and shit like that.
At a youth club in Warrington, teenagers told us that was all too common.
If you're going into an online space and you're expecting kind of simplicity and everything to be nice and tame, you're kind of going in quite naive because, it's a very, very malicious place in the grand scheme of it.
So I do think there should be more restrictions in that, and the report and block system needs to be better.
Personally, I think it's a good idea to have more restrictions because, especially for children younger than us, there's some things that are so accessible.
Now, I did. Why I played that section in the video was because I did see a comment when I checked this video for the first time a couple of days ago, saying that those children were paid actors. I don't think it's exactly that they're paid actors. I think that um, I think that you can sort of tell. I don't know. I don't come from Wales. They sound from Wales, okay? If they're not, I'm sorry, but they sound quite rich, okay? They sound. You can sort of hear the wealth and equality in their voice, you know. That was horrible. I apologise for that, but you can sort of hear they're quite they sound quite pompous, if that makes sense. They don't give a fuck about anyone else but themselves, and that really rubs off on them. It does sound like they're quite rich.
But for families who have already lost children because of online harm, the regulations don't go far enough.
Now this one, it's sad to see that her son took his own life, but what they're blaming it on here is not correct. Well, I know it's a very bold statement to say that. What I'm going to say is my personal own opinion. I don't think your son looked at boobs and fucking said, I'm killing myself. I don't think it's like that. Like, I understand that if you want to ban pornography for under 18s, I'm with you on that, you know, because what you see on porn sites is not real people. They're just porn stars. They're not real fucking people, and a lot of young males, especially males, compare themselves to that. And that's like the 1%, the 0.1%. That's the 0.1% of people. A lot of people compare themselves to that and say, oh, I want to have this huge schlongs, like 3 feet long. That's not fucking real. It's comparison. But I don't think that's how this works.
I think at 16 you've still got pretty innocent young children watching things they shouldn't see. And we're saying porn sites are 18, yet you can go on social media at 16 and see things like that you shouldn't be seeing.
I understand that, but social media has been around for quite a while now. I was born before it all started, and I think a lot of people watching this are born. Social media, it actually does more fucking, in the grand scheme of things, I think it does more good than harm. It lets you stay connected with people from school, outside of school, shit like that. I don't want to really stay on this too much because if I'll make this video 3 hours long. I don't want to do that. But they always get the most fucked up individuals, people that have lost everything to fucking say shit. It's like, yeah, look, while you're sitting there and blaming the government, how about you be a responsible parent and check in with your child, every so often. Check in with them, see how they're going. And I know it's very hard for young people to speak up, but, just being there for your fucking child will make the difference. Don't fucking blame the government. Don't get all creases on your head and wrinkle up like that, because no one wants to see it. You're blaming the government for your own shortcomings. Yes, look, it's tragic that you lost someone. I don't understand. I mean, I don't think anyone can really understand until they've gone through that. But, searching up boobs on fucking internet, that won't lead them to suicide. That will fucking... It's a long compounding issue that if you checked in with your child, fucking every week, just to see how they're going, this could have been easily fucking prevented, Now, of course, yeah, look, I shouldn't really be speaking upon that fact, but yeah, that's where we are. And now, this bill passed in 2023. This was drafted in 2023, excuse me. I don't exactly know when it passed and shit. All I know is that it came into effect Sunday, actually, yeah, Sunday. And now it's Wednesday. The government is so fucked. And then there was the UK Parliament petition where you could repeal this. It's still counting more signatures. It got 100,000 signatures in a day. And unfortunately, they've responded. I'm not going to read it here, but pretty much they're saying... too bad, so sad, you're fucked. Essentially that's what the government's done. It's just fucking, it's very disrespectful actually what this government's done, what the UK government's done actually. I feel for you British people because now you've got this shit. They've responded. Have they? I don't know. I just think it's like it's too hard to actually admit we've made a mistake. Fuck you, pretty much. Then they were going to ban VPNs because a lot of people fucking did we're getting VPNs and VPN market skyrocketed. Sales skyrocketed actually. I heard on the news through YouTube they skyrocketed like 1,000% or some shit. I don't know how accurate that is, but to put that into perspective, if they were selling one new subscription a day, they would be selling around 1,000 new subscriptions. And look, the British population, they're probably selling like 50 subscriptions a day. Now they'd be selling about 50,000 subscriptions a day, and that was just in the first day or two. People that weren't tech savvy enough were just fucking buying VPNs left, right, and center. People that could, bypass these biometric filters and shit were on this video game called Death Stranding. Actually, I don't know much about the game. I haven't played that video game. I am into video games, just not that one. I haven't really checked it out. I don't really know what it's all about. But they were using this photo mode thing, and they were creating like avatars to look old enough, and it was fooling the fucking AI system. So good on you, British people. That's something I like to see, because when this shit happens in Australia, we know what to do now. The fucking thing is, they were trying to ban VPNs. Then they said, look, we're gonna rule that out because we made a mistake. VPNs actually generate the UK a lot of money, blah, 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 and all this kind of crap, So they said they're going to ban it. They realised they fucked up, and then they said, oh, yeah, look, we're not going to do it anymore. Don't worry about that one. But, yeah, you're still at risk. You're still at risk if you use a VPN. What? That's what they were saying. You're still at risk. I've never heard anything more fucking stupid in my life, to be honest. Banning VPNs, it creates safety. That's the complete opposite. People buy a VPN to be safe, not to fucking avoid safety. That's so fucking stupid. So stupid. But turning our attention now to Australia. Now, Australia, I don't know, how this all started. Maybe Australia saw the British shit and was like, yeah, it's a good idea. Now, the thing is, with Britain, this got started in 2023, sorry. And with Australia, this got started, I heard something about it for the first time about maybe 6 to 9 months ago, somewhere around there. And the ban, a lot of Australian YouTubers talked about it at the time. I didn't really give a fuck because I sort of knew that this wasn't going to work. I was on it. I was watching, reactions and shit. But I sort of knew that this isn't going to work because look at Britain. It hasn't worked in Britain. People are fucking bypassing it and not giving out their digital identities anymore. So in Australia, I heard something like under 16s are going to be banned from social media. And initially, this was sites, I'm just going off the top of my head here, these were sites like Discord, Reddit, Instagram, fucking Snapchat, stuff like that, Twitter. But it excluded one major player, and that was YouTube. Now, the e-safety commissioner in Australia, a lot of people call her e-safety Karen. I just call her Karen Cunt, because that's what she is. She thinks she rules the roost. She thinks she's going to fucking control the internet. Sweetheart, look what happened in Britain. They're trying to control it there, and has it worked? Fuck no, it's not working. But a lot of people saying this is just phase one. It's going to get stronger and stronger in the meantime. It's going to get stronger, in the future. But if initially Australia said, look, we don't have a problem with YouTube. And eventually, I heard a couple of weeks ago that they do have a problem with YouTube now, and they're going to block people from using YouTube unless you can verify your age. And then what happened, funnily enough, is that Google threatened to sue the Australian government. And I'm like, yeah, Google, fucking you got this. Now, this e-safety commissioner, now her real name's Julie Inman Grant. And about a month ago, you can see I'm looking at shit here. Elon Musk won free speech fight against the e-safety bitch, you know. So yeah, I didn't even know about this until I typed her name one day after I said, what's the e-safety commissioner's name? And it came up with that. I still think that's incorrect result. I think her name is actually Karen Cunt, because she is one, essentially. But yeah, fucking, you know, because these people aren't elected, they're just appointed, so they're given a position by the government that we elect. We elect the government to give these people a position. That's what we do. Because Australia, yeah, we're fucked as a country, just as much as Britain is. You can see here she is an American Australian public servant. Servant? Oh God, I bet you she doesn't think of herself as a servant. Fucking yeah, America. Look, I don't know, Americans. I'm sure there's a lot of lovely people in America. I'd like to go to America because, you know, I'm a fat bastard myself. You know, you've got, I like big food portions, man. I'd like to go, you know, you've got pizzas the size of houses, you've got cakes the size of cars. Sounds like a fucking lovely time. But this American, in my personal opinion, I'm saying my personal opinion before that becomes illegal, she needs to fuck off as fast as her passport will take her back to America, because we don't want her here. She's not welcome here. A lot of people don't like her because she's an idiot and she makes up fucking fake bloody, you know, statistics and shit about the internet. She has no idea what the fucking internet is. You know, if you're going back to when I was a child, when I was under 16, when I created this account, this YouTube account, the internet was a fucking harmful place back then. You know, I feel like the internet is a much more clean place these days. A lot of harmful content has been eradicated off the site, off the whole of the internet, not just a website. You know, a lot of people. The internet used to be a really malicious site, a really malicious place, and yeah, a lot of stuff. If you looked for it now, you wouldn't be able to find it. If you saw what I saw as a young kid growing up, yeah, you'd be like, holy fuck, okay, yeah, some sort of cap needs to be put on. But no, not today. I don't think so. I think the internet's a much more clean place than it was 10 years ago. That's for fucking certain. I know that. And this, you know, I agree. If you want to block under 18s under, you know, searching porn or mutilation, I get that. But what's happened in Britain is that this goes beyond. This is not about protecting kids or children. This is about major surveillance. Well, I'm pretty sure it is about major surveillance. You know, it's about the government tracking where you go, because of, you know, you have to hand over your driver's license to them when you want to enter a fucking website. They're blocking parts of Wikipedia in Britain, because companies can't afford to keep up with that bullshit. On Twitter, migrant hotels in Epping, you know, that's going absolutely batshit crazy. UK people can't see that anymore because the government's declared it as hate speech, and, you know, they don't want to put up with it anymore. The government doesn't want to put up with shit anymore, so they just block it. That's what the government does, and does it very well. It avoids the real problems while creating problems that didn't even fucking exist. The UK was not problematic. The internet was not problematic before. Well, it was, but, you know, now that you've done this, you've made it 1,000 times fucking worse than what it was. And Australia is heading down the same fucking shitter that Britain's heading down too. Now, another thing, I like this on Instagram actually. Now, I promise you I only liked this so I could bookmark the video. After this, I'm going to take the like away because I think it's absolutely stupid. But this was what the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, had to say about it.
Social media is doing social harm. And my government and this Parliament is prepared to take action to protect young Australians.
The thing is, before we go any further, protecting young Australians, that's bullshit. A lot of people are against this, and rightfully so. It's obvious why, but some people are standing by this, and they're for this. They're like, fuck yeah, The thing, it's like I think it's fantastic that you're using your big describing words that you like, it's for, you're for this, but you're the only person that fucking feels that way because you're an idiot. You gotta understand that this isn't just gonna come after your kids. This is gonna come after you. Yeah, so it's really important to understand that it's not about protecting kids. It's about surveilling the public. And, this isn't just gonna come after your kids, it's gonna come after you, like I said. And it doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, it's still gonna come after you. You wanna know why? Because even though you may be over 18, you may be an adult, how the fuck is the government going to know? How the hell are they going to know? Unless they take your fucking digital identity, or you lie to them, shit like that. And I will not be I will not be handing my shit over. I will not be handing my personal identity over. You can try, but you're not going to fucking get it off me. And now that I said that, it's going to be classified as hate speech because I'm going against the government. I know. Stupid wankers in big political decisions. You're not going to get my shit. Every single fucking time you want to log onto the internet or you want to browse a site that might be controversial to the government, it doesn't even matter if it's fucking over 18. If it's controversial to a political background, yeah, you're going to be fucked. You're going to have, surrender your shit or buy a VPN or, lie to the fucking, AI taking a fucking selfie photo of you. It's fucking ridiculous.
There is no perfect solution when it comes to keeping young Australians safe online.
Yes, there is. The solution is be a fucking responsible parent. Let the parents just make a fucking decision. I know people might be like, oh, you're young yourself. You don't have any parental, experience. And you're right, I don't. So you might be like, oh, why is this fucking young wanker saying what parents should do? I guess I don't have any experience. But so doesn't the government. They're your children, not the government's. The government didn't give birth to them. You gave birth to them. It's your fucking responsibility as a parent, not fucking this, bullshit government.
But the social media minimum age laws will make a meaningful difference.
Oh yeah? Try telling that to people in Britain. You fucking assholes.
Young people under the age of 16 will not be able to have accounts on YouTube. They will also not be able to have accounts on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, X, amongst other platforms.
Okay, who the fuck's calling it X? That's my biggest gripe with this part of the video. It's fucking Twitter, and it will always be remain as Twitter. Well, in my opinion, no one's calling it X. So the big thing here, I think you're still going to be allowed to use it. You're just not going to be able to create an account. You're still going to be able to use YouTube, but you're not going to be able to create an account, which is really shitty. You're not going to be. Oh, sorry. I should stop picking my nose. God's sake. You're not going to be able to create an account on Instagram or Snapchat. That's a real bummer, because how the fuck do you use those things without an account? Look, people will get around this. Children are more tech savvy than the people that put these policies in. You're a fucking nut job.
This is too important for us not to have a good crack at it.
It's just the government saying, we're gonna try, but we're not really. We're gonna pretend like we protect the government. We're gonna, protect Australians. Fuck. Immigrate. Look, man, I have to lead this back to immigration. Um, in Britain, it's real bad. There is a sexual assault case every hour in London. How about you protect underage women so that they don't feel scared to fucking go out in public rather than fucking doing this shit? And it's happening in Australia, especially in Melbourne. I'm in Perth. So I'm on the other side of the country to all this shit. In Melbourne, machete attacks, cutting people's arms off for fucking phones and shit. Never thought I'd see that happen in Australia, but it's fucking happened. How about you fucking, don't ban the machetes. You fucking put these people away, make the public a safe fucking place, and then you can have a look at this online social media fucking restriction. Not a ban, maybe a restriction. Fucking maybe under fucking 10, under 10 shouldn't be allowed. I think at 16 you're a mature minor, you're mature enough to have sex, you're mature enough to have a fucking phone. That's my opinion. I don't care what this government's saying, it's bullshit. Depression doesn't happen like that. I've been depressed, I've wanted to end it all. And it's not because of social media, it's because of real life. I'm 20 years old, and yeah, look, mate, I'm still a virgin. I think that's a real, a big disqualification in life, because a lot of my friends have, I've asked them, and they have said yes, they have done it. I think that's, a huge fucking disqualification if you get to my age and you haven't done it. And that's where it comes from with me. I know I'm just an individual case on this, but it's not because of social media. Going back to porn for a second, a lot of young teenagers compare themselves. I think at 16 or 15 even, I think you're old enough to see that they're just porn stars. They're not real fucking people. They're just porn stars. They're just getting paid, money to show them fucking popping fucking steroids and opioids and shit. It's rubbish. It's absolute fucking rubbish. The thing is, Britain hasn't even fucking made a sort of government server where they can keep all your identities. They haven't even made that. They're just selling it to offshore third party applicants. Whoever can fucking get it. What happens when they get fucking breached? Millions of ID documents go on sale on the dark web. It's happened in Australia. We had a couple of years ago. It was Optus, one of the biggest mobile phone service coverage providers. They got hacked. Like 2 or 3 million people's identity got hacked. Put on sale on the dark web, and some of those things are still probably floating around out there on the dark web if they haven't already been bought. Medibank in Australia, one of the country's biggest health insurance providers, they got hacked a year or two ago. How many people got hacked there? How many people's ID got stolen? 6, 7 million? It's probably close to 10, 11 million people. They got fucked over. So Australia has a very weak digital infrastructure. It's going to fail because it has fucking failed before. If the Australian government even bothers to fucking build a server, it's going to get fucking hacked. Or they just take Britain's approach and sell it somewhere on America, that's going to get hacked. Your ID, it doesn't matter who you are, your ID is going to get stolen one way or another. It's going to get fucking hacked. You're going to be put up on the fucking dark web, and shit like that's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you. I know. I know where this is going. This is surveillance. It's not protecting children. This happens to everyone. Everyone is required to submit an ID. They're right now. They're tracking who's going on those websites. That's what they're doing right now. They're tracking because you have to submit an ID. They're tracking who's going on those websites. In the future, what might happen, I don't know. This is just speculation. But what might happen is that you might get timed for how long you stay on those websites. Say if you stay on a website half an hour, the government's watching you. Or, you fucking go to the next website, the government's watching you going from that website to that website to that website, and then eventually the police might become involved. The government's going to watch, the government's going to say, okay, has this individual ran in with the law? Had any convictions? Have they fucking spent any time in jail? Are they a danger? Have they, been domestic violent to people? That's going to be, and then the government's going to blacklist you from certain websites. I know I might sound like a tinfoil hat artist or a conspiracy theorist. I don't really want to be labelled as one. This is all just what might happen. It possibly won't happen. Who knows? That's the biggest kicker here. Who actually fucking knows what's going to happen? Look at this. Unlike, I'm never coming back to that video ever. So yeah, and Australia is part of the Commonwealth, so we're going to follow what Britain does, pretty similarly. I feel. And don't get me wrong, I know New Zealand, you might be in fucking trouble too. I know New Zealand is their own individual country and it's very individualised, don't get me wrong. But this is for the governments, this is for worldwide governments to look at and fucking follow influence from other countries going, oh, this has worked well in fucking surveilling the people. So, Australia should try it. And New Zealand looks at, Australia looks at Britain, New Zealand looks at Australia, and New Zealand goes, wow, this has done well, we'll fucking try that over here. So, people in New Zealand, you might be fucked as well. So yeah, I can't exactly remember I think it's December 26 or December 27, this shit will come into effect. My closing thoughts for this video, I know it's been a bit of a long video, I've recorded for 45 minutes, I'm going to trim this video down, but hopefully it's got everything. I know I talked about Britain a lot, but it's very close to Australia. Well, not in, spatial terms, but online it's very close, it's shit. My closing thoughts, will this work? Look, before Britain did anything about this, I didn't know about Britain doing this until I saw the first video we watched together. I didn't know about Britain doing this. I said give it like fucking 2 or 3 weeks, then this will be a distant memory. Now, because of what Britain's done, and I seen people get over this, within fucking 12 hours, I'm saying give it a fucking day. Give it a day, people will already be bootjacking shit and fucking, getting rid of this crap. Because, yeah, people don't like this. It's very obvious. And people are not going to stand for it because VPNs have gone up. And people have been cheating the system, hacking the AI system. So, yeah, do I think this is going to work? Fuck no. Has it worked in Britain? To an extent, but not very well. Give it a fucking... I was going to say 2 or 3 weeks. Give it about 2 or 3 days in Australia to fully roll out. You'll see people fucking cheating the system, getting through it, and fucking no fucking dramas at all. Anyway, that's my opinion about this whole thing. If this video bothered to get any fucking recognition, and you are concerned, if you're from Britain or Australia or New Zealand or Canada or America, fucking, wherever they're putting this fucking ban in, I think I heard something about America trying to get something like this. Let us know. Am I on the fucking money here, or am I real fucking far away? I think I'm pretty fucking close. But this is just my opinions and what I have seen. But yeah, definitely chuck us a comment below in the comment section if you wanted. Let me know how you're feeling about this. Anyway, I hope that this video was informative or shit like that. It's a very, very scary time to be using the internet right now because I don't even know what will happen. When I sign into YouTube on December 27 this year, will I have to fucking upload my identity to YouTube to keep my YouTube account? What's going to happen? I don't know. You know, I can see they needed, you know, with the YouTube partner program to get money. I'm not monetized yet, but I can see why they'd need your identity to make sure you're a real person, to make sure you have a bank account to fucking get paid into. That's legitimate, that's fine. But this bullshit goes one step too fucking far. And I'd like to know how you guys feel about this, because I know it's going to be negative. I know it's going to be negative. Fucking shit. Anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy that video. That's where I'm going to leave it at. And, yeah. I will see you guys on the next video, if there is a next video to fucking continue on to.